The Chicago Bulls have finished the 2024-25 regular season with a 39-43 record, the same record as last season. Me and Pat are going to discuss a little bit about that, plus the expectations going into the play-in tournament, surprises and disappointments, all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 and $250 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 bet. Pat, the Bulls finished with the exact same record as they did last year, which we did talk about if they did do that, considering that they've gone younger. That was even when Zach LaVine was still on the team.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Chicago Bulls finish of the season and the record?
Listen, I feel better about it, right, than I did last season. There's no doubt about it, right? And how they finished out the season was much better. You finished out the season on a high note. You figured some things out. You meshed at a time where it seemed like, you were going towards, oh God, what are we going to do without this 20-point per game score? Remember, everybody was sitting there freaking out right after Zach LaVine was gone because we ended up getting clapped by the Pistons a couple of times, right? Like the Bulls looked bad. And then you get past the All-Star break, and it looks like a team that is bought into whatever message Billy Donovan is selling. It looks like a team who defensively is one of the best defensive teams that we've seen under this Billy Donovan tenure, and that's coming from a team, from a tenure that has had some solid defenses on it. It looks like a Bulls team that offensively always has an option, and if you take away one piece, there's another piece to step up in that piece's spot. Like, it looks like a complete basketball team, and that's very weird. But now heading into this play-in tournament, I just talked about this over on the Windy City Breeze, and I'd love your take on this. To me, there's two great outcomes for the Bulls here, right? You had this great second half of the season. You get into the play-in tournament, Eric Spoelstra's a better coach, and you get beat. You're the 10th overall seed, dominant second half of the season. Now, all of a sudden, you're still in it for the draft capital. You're probably finishing out top 8 draft pick wise if that situation happens there. Or you go into the tournament, you beat Miami, you beat either Atlanta or Orlando, probably Atlanta. We're going to run this thing all the way back. And you have a great competitive run here in the playoffs, 7-game stretch versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you're heading into next season going, we can add pieces to this team. Those are the two best case scenario outcomes that I would love to see happen with this Bulls team.
Yeah, I mean, we differ on that. I don't think the Bulls should be looking to add a star this offseason. I don't think that that's the place they're in. 2026 is where I want another full season of this, but it does feel good to have a team that feels like it has a direction. It has a direction, right? No matter how people view it, if they think, well, this Giddy run, it's a fluke. He's probably not going to average 20 points a game next season. I'll look at you and say, Giddy doesn't want to have to average 20 points. He doesn't want to have to average 20 points. He wants to be able to rebound, set up other players, attack when he needs to, pick his spots, and run the offense. That's not a knock for me. Now, I do think with the way that Josh Giddy scored, I'm not going to say that he can't come in here and put up 18, 8, and 8 for an entire season, because I tell you what, he looks like a guy that can do that with the way that he's attacking and how confident he's playing right now. But the fact that the Bulls, when you look at it, we finished 39, the same record last season. That was with Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine on your team. We started off this season with 3 of those guys gone and finished with all 4 of them gone. We played some of our best basketball after Zach LaVine left. That is a reason to look at this team and say, okay, what can you show me at the start of next year? Hey, how can you still finish this season? Because we're not done, right? We still got, the play-in to get through and hopefully a playoff series as well that the Bulls can learn and gain some experience from. But now it's like, all right, now how do you build off that, right? This puts me back in that place of the Baby Bulls era. And it really does. That was a team that fought, then got to the playoffs, and then kept getting to the playoffs, got eliminated. But you saw the progression of how those players were learning and developing. And this is the first now postseason where Coby's the number one option.
Yep.
Josh Giddy's going to actually get to play point guard the whole entire, because he's not sharing it with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the postseason run. Minus first postseason period in the NBA, right? So, like, it's the first time that these guys have really been thrust into the roles that they are in postseason play. So it's a lot of reasons to be excited and hopeful over what the future can bring for the Bulls.
Yeah, listen, I think that's going to be, if you look at how Giddy has played, even going into next season, if you're sitting here having a conversation on, I don't want Josh Giddy to have to average 20 plus points per game. Why not? It's not like he's giving you less assists or less rebounds if he's doing that. You know, like, and I'll tell you this, right now he's the catalyst behind this team. Think about 2 games ago when the Bulls needed to win versus Miami. Bulls started off horrible. Bulls had a horrible first 18 minutes of the first half. And then Josh Giddy said, okay, I'm going to get to the bucket. And I think he ended up going 4 for 5 to finish out that second quarter. And all of a sudden, Coby started knocking down shots. All of a sudden, Modest started knocking down shots. All of a sudden, as Josh Giddy got more aggressive, the team got more aggressive, and the team woke up. That's what you want to see. If you're somebody that sits there and goes, oh, you can't win if Josh Giddy is averaging 20-plus points per game. We did a lot of that this second half of the season. As soon as that got out of the way and Josh started scoring more, all of a sudden we started winning more. Like it's to me, Bulls fans are in this weird spot where there isn't a belief in the long term of the team because you haven't seen a belief in the past. And that's not what we got over the last 26 games. The past Bulls teams, we ain't had a Bulls team like this probably since 2015. That's actually competitive like this.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at.
Playoff series since 2015 for sure. But yeah, we haven't had a Bulls team this competitive probably since 2015. That's crazy to say.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it too, you've had this conversation both on air and off air, is I think a large part of this is like people came into the season with the expectation, right, of, man, we got to do everything. We got to be bad as possible to keep this pick. We got to do everything to keep the pick. The Bulls made a trade. They got the pick regardless, and now people haven't really shifted their mindset to appreciating teams that are players that are being competitive. Me and you talked about it. Like I'd much rather see teams fight, and if they are competitive and it's legitimate and all those type of things, they're fighting with heart, they're playing together as a team, they're connected as a team. Like I'd much rather watch that than a team tanking just for lottery odds. If we're gonna get lottery luck, we're gonna get lottery luck. It is what it is. There, this team's actually playing really, really well as a team, and that's the most hopeful part. Like, even I know you said Josh Giddy's the engine, but even Coby, how he's been since being the number one scoring option on this team has been extremely consistent. Yeah, he still had a couple of games where it's like last night's game, but then again, I don't even know if they were even, him and Vooch just seemed like, hey, I really got to show up. I really got to show up today.
That was a let me keep my legs loose game. That's all that was. Let me make sure my legs is loose.
Yeah, so it just, this team is really, I love the fight in this team, and that's the thing I'm going to keep going back to. I love the way that this team is competing and whatnot, and I hope that it continues, man. And that's the only thing I got to say about that. We're going to get into surprises and disappointments here in the second half of the second segment of the show. But I want to ask you this, Pat. Where we were at the beginning of the season to where we are now, I know that you've done a complete 180 on Josh Giddy. With shout out to Pat. Like, again, it's okay to change your mind. When new information comes, it's okay to take that new information
and say, it. No, you stand on it.
Yeah, people are dumb. People are dumb. But where are you now ending this season? I know the season has officially ended, but compared to where you were to come into the season till now, how has your mindset changed other than just on Josh Giddy?
Listen, I mean, like the Giddy thing is the obvious one. I think that my mindset has changed on where this team can go depending on the pieces that it has. We talked about the Domantas Sabonis conversation. I think that that's a great conversation to have around this team depending on what they do here in the play-in tournament, because it feels like you have a core. You know what I mean? Like, you've got young up and coming. You've got young player who, by the way, all young player who offensively is a juggernaut and wins player of the month because he's been doing everything offensively to dominate the game. And then you've got also other young player who is running the system perfectly in Josh Giddy. Like, the combination of Modest, Coby, and Giddy has me feeling like there's a core. And the only reason, and Haize, tell me if I'm tweaking on this. If Zach LaVine doesn't start the season with this team, it's a good season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like how people are viewing it.
No,
I'm not talking about wins. I'm saying how people are viewing it. If it's a 39-43 team and Zach LaVine does not start the season with this team, people are looking at this team like you've got a young, up-and-coming, star-studded team, and the Bulls finally got it right.
And that's the difference between having a 39-43 team where most of your players are at 30 or above, that most of your core, to a team that's the average age is 24 and a half. Like, it's a very different place to be in. People don't really want to recognize that it's a completely different place to be in. But hey, it is what it is. We'll see how it continues to go for this Bulls team, man. I, for one, am really appreciative of the season that we've had with this team and the season and the postseason that we're going to have as well, because let's hope that they don't crap the bed. But we're going to talk a little bit about that continued on. We're going to talk about our surprises and disappointments over the course of the season. I think we're going to have the same disappointment. But first, we need to get some message from a few of our sponsors. Basketball and hockey playoffs are heating up, and there's no better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards than with Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy. With Prize Picks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and more for your chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. By the way, the Cubs are killing it. I hate to say that. Luka Doncic has more than 28 points. Jason Tatum for more than 8 points and 8 rebounds. With hockey, you can bet on Connor McDavid for more than 1 goal and Austin Matthews for more than 5 shots on a goal. What I love is how easy it is to set up your lineup in under 60 seconds. PrizePicks runs cool promos like Taco Tuesday, where they discount player projections up to 25% for even more value. And payouts are fast, safe, and secure. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Also got to talk to you guys about Wayfair. Spring is here, and that means it's home project season. Whether you're refreshing a room or tackling a full renovation, Wayfair is the best kept secret for all things home improvement. From small updates like stylish cabinet hardware to major upgrades like new veneers, sinks, and outdoor lighting, Wayfair has quality products for every budget. I just upgraded my sunroom with Wayfair, and the selection was incredible. The free and fast shipping made it so easy, no hauling heavy items from the store. I love that they have top brands like GE, Moen at great prices. Shopping was seamless, and I found exactly what I needed to fit my space and style. Wayfair makes home improvement easy. Get started now at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
Not saying you're gang banging on the north side.
Oh, somebody's gang banging in Locked On Bulls. That's crazy. That's crazy.
North side.
That's wild. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You repping coffee shops, my guy?
That's crazy.
What are we repping in here? North side in this thing. What?
Did you walk there, Shay?
Oh, you know what? That's wrong. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that.
Hey, the way that Shay's been joking all season long, no, he knows.
Hey,
it's just
Shay having an MVP year, bro.
Hey, bro. This is Shay's 91 Jordan year, bro. Hey, like, it's crazy, bro.
Shay's 72-10 right now. He's going for a ring, brother.
Bro, Shay's been undefeated, bro. Oh, Pat, with that said, man, we know that this season, we talked a lot about our thoughts overall in the season, but what's been your biggest surprise or disappointment this season for the Bulls?
My biggest surprise is the defense. Okay. Honestly, like how the Bulls have been on a string defensively has been incredibly impressive. Like, to the point where Josh Giddy is calling out Patrick Williams for missing his spots. Yeah. Right? Who would have thought that we'd be living in that world if you're a Bulls fan? To the point where Dalen Terry is coming in and giving you great minutes defensively. Julian Phillips is coming in and giving you great minutes defensively. The defensive system that I think the Bulls wanted to run seems like it's a lot more obvious when there's not one player that seems to be throwing it off. Even though the Bulls were they were bad. They were bad defensively when Zach was here. It looked bad. It constantly
had our
looked
moments.
bad. They had moments of the flashes, but again, it's about having the total buy-in. And to me, defensively, this Bulls team feels like they can stop just about anybody with how they're helping, how they're rotating, how they're getting out on guys. Now, what I will say is it may not help. You can play the best defense in the world, and Donovan Mitchell can shoot over it. Darius Garland can shoot over it. Evan Mobley definitely can shoot over it with how he's shooting the three this year. So in the long run, if you do make a playoff series, it may not matter. But to me, it means something where if a guy is in the corner taking that shot and there's a hand in his face and he still knocks down the shot, that's a better shot than it was defense. That's all you can say about that. And I like living in that world more than, hey, y'all ever go guard that dude over there that keeps making that shot?
Yeah, to me, the biggest surprise this year to me was because we just haven't seen it for so long is role players that fit really make your team, bro. Like it really makes your team. Like us getting Kevin Huerter and Zach Collins and even Trey Jones, like getting those guys here, it really helped this team really discover their identity. And like we had solid role players, but the fit was always questionable, or how we played them was questionable. Like Andre Drummond's a really good backup center, probably the best in the league. But Billy Donovan ran him 12 to 14 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You had Derrick Jones Jr. here, but he played backup center the majority of his time here. Like, so we had that, but now we got guys that are playing their roles, fitting into exactly what we need them to do. And it's helped Coby and Josh Giddy have the stretches that they've had post All-Star break and post trade. And that's been something that really surprised me because, I mean, you know, me and you both looked at that trade after the Zach LaVine trade, like, oh, okay, it's solid. Like, at least we got our pick back. But the way that those guys have come in and played together and helped this unit, it's really been a surprise to me because I didn't expect that level of production from it.
Yeah, look, I mean, like it's been, there's been stretches where all of them have been impactful in Bulls wins. Trey Jones has been probably the top on the list, but there was a 2-week run there where I was like, is Zach Collins our center of the future? I'm glad they came back to earth. But but there was literally a run where I was like, oh, okay, like Zach Collins is very physical, great defensively, knocking down that three at an okay rate. Like, this might be the guy. Kevin Huerter, me and you have both talked about it, right? Like, you're going to have to make tough decisions at the end of the season on some of these pieces who it feels like you can replace them, but like, I'd rather have Trey Jones going into next year over Lonzo Ball. I would rather have Kevin Huerter going into next year over Julian Phillips. Like, you've got actual pieces where it's like, okay, the Bulls may go future here, or they may trade for picks, or they may try to get some contracts off and have to include these guys in it. But man, I'm gonna hate to lose that guy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Biggest disappointment, I think we can listen. I said it, I titled it in my video on Central. It wasn't DeMar, it wasn't Zach, it wasn't Vooch holding P. Will back. P. Will was a big disappointment. I'm sorry, he came into this season, he talked about in training camp, oh, I want to be a leader for this team. This is my year to step up as a leader. I want to lead these guys. I want to be a voice for these young guys. And you came in and you lost your starting position to a rookie, and it's never coming back to you. It's not coming back. You're not getting it back. He snatched it from you. It's done, right? I would say this, like, even outside of the scoring aspect, you had players that came in here, P. Will. This was your time to shine. You had 2 opportunities. To start the season, you didn't do nothing with it. After the Zach LaVine trade, you had another opportunity to step up even further, and Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter looked at you and said, all right, young fella, don't even worry about it. You can hold our bags. P. Will is a huge disappointment for me this year, and that's my fault. I'm blaming me. No more expectations for P. Will. Whatever he gives, he gives. I'm done with expectations for P. Will.
P. Will's not my biggest disappointment because I called him a bust 3 years ago. So, you know, like to me, he's been a disappointment since day one. Hey, maybe I was just early to the party. That might be me. But yeah, no, P. Will, not 3 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, probably. P. Will is a massive disappointment, but I knew that coming into the season. I wasn't expecting anything different. My biggest disappointment is yet again AK. I feel like the trade deadline was handled, even with all the pieces we got back, was yet again handled poorly with some of the deals that we heard out there. I don't know if you saw this, Haize, but that Memphis pick that could have been traded for Lonzo Ball will fall into the range of 14 to 18 coming into this season.
But it was lottery protected, so if it did fall into 14, we wouldn't have gotten it, but it would have been right outside the lottery. So
I mean, like, I'm willing to take that chance because
No, I agree. I'm not saying that you wouldn't. I'm just adding for clarity in the conversation. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying I'm just adding for clarity.
He's got no legs. I love the fact that he met the family that saved his basketball career.
We were wrong about the African knees, bro.
We were wrong about the African knees. I was laughing at
regular old Anglo-Saxon knees.
Hey, I was laughing about saved his basketball career because I haven't seen it. So
I mean, listen, technically he played 35 games before he went down. He came back and played 35 games. He came right back to where he left off at. He saved his career. He played 2 straight seasons of 0 games. So
that's saving his basketball career. See, I've got this wrist. Nah, man, but it just there's no question about it. Like coming out of the trade deadline, even with a lot of the wins that AK got, there's so many losses ahead of that, right? Like if you're and we got to get to this ad break here, but if you're excited by winning the last 5 games of a season in a season that you won 20 out of 1,000, it's not really a good place for you to be in, and that's where it feels like AK is right now with racking up some good wins in the trade deadline, but just missing completely on some of the bad ones.
That's a fact.
Before we get into this final conversation, speaking on injuries, we do have to talk about give you a message from our sponsors over at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are not almost here. They are here, ladies and gentlemen, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action right now. When you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if you win. Here's the best part about FanDuel. It's so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props. Got to say that faster. From 3-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same game parlay for a chance to win big. So don't miss out. Head over to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. FanDuel.com to claim your $250 in bonus bets today. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
All right, Pat. Before we get up out of here today, unfortunately, we got to talk about injuries. So Josh Giddy's wrist injury that kept him out in the season finale. Billy Donovan did say that he's optimistic that he's going to be able to play in Wednesday's game. He had a wrist injury, and then he went out there and put up a 28-point triple-double. But let me ask you this. Are you concerned at all heading into a playing matchup that's, of course, important? It's win or go home about Josh Giddy's wrist?
Well, listen, am I worried about him playing? No. I think that the wrist probably is bothering him because he ended up sitting in the finale and so many of the starters ended up playing. But I don't think that it's bothering him to the point. I think it's more bothering him like, hey, this is sore. If we can take some time off of it, that would be great. I can play, but I would rather make sure I'm as healthy as possible going into this game. But as far as his effectiveness in the game and how important Josh Giddy is to this game, you look at the season right now in 3 regular season meetings versus the Miami Heat, all victories for the Chicago Bulls this season, by the way. Josh Giddy has posted 2 triple-doubles and averaged a triple-double of 26, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and shot 53% from the 3-point line. Casey Johnson just tweeted that out. Yeah, he's uber important for the Chicago Bulls heading into this play-in game. Having him at his best is incredibly important. And I mean, you see how he's dominated. I would say even right in a game where Miami dominates defensively, Josh Giddy has been one of the best defenders on the floor in just about all 3 Miami games this season. Weirdly enough to say, just with how he's stolen the basketball, how he's played the passing lanes. Like I think Josh Giddy again is the catalyst that makes this team run. And when Josh Giddy's in the lead, I know a lot of people look at the world games as, I guess, weaker than the NBA game because they're not all NBA players. But Josh Giddy led a team up against Team USA, or up against Team Canada, I should say, to just about the finals. And if not for an epic collapse at the end of that, they do get to the final round and play USA in the final round. So I think that Josh Giddy led teams can go a long way here.
Yeah, I mean, this post run is gonna really say a lot about that as well. I think Josh Giddy is like he's hugely important to the Bulls offense. Like we saw 2 games, even though the Bulls won those 2 games, the offense didn't look nearly as crisp without Josh Giddy. And we said that about Billy Donovan for the longest. When you have a point guard that can run Josh Giddy's system, it makes a huge difference. And so, I think that he is the engine of this offense flowing as seamlessly as what it does, regardless of who's on the court with, because he's found that chemistry, right? So, yeah. If for some reason Giddy can't go in this game, it becomes a lot more difficult. I love that you also brought up the defensive aspect of Giddy against the Miami Heat, and I think that's specifically because he's learned. The thing, and we're gonna have to do a whole thing on this when we do the season ending and we do our player grades. I get it. The Josh Giddy's offensive impact has been amazing, and it should be talked about. But Josh Giddy's made some considerable growth defensively this year, and nobody's really talking about because he's still a serviceable defender. But I tell you what, if you can give me serviceable defense with averaging almost a triple-double, cool. Bro, everybody doesn't have to be a lockdown defender.
Bro, I've said it multiple times. First off, the Bulls are playing team defense. The only good defender you have on your team right now is probably Julian Phillips. Dalen Terry. I mean, like
Isles gone.
Isles gone. Trey Jones is gone.
Doesn't have a wrist now or a knee. Like,
you know what I mean? Well, I think the knee's still fine. I think this is all wrist, but I don't know if he's just out there jumping around. You don't have a legitimate defender on this team right now, and your team defense has proven perfect. And Josh Giddy, to the point where Josh Giddy is calling people out, calling out Modest Buzelis. Modest Buzelis has come a long way as a defender.
You know what though? I love that I think everybody on this team understands how Modest can be, like how he can impact the game. So you've seen Coby, Giddy, Dalen, of course, Billy Donovan pull him to the side. Wes Unseld has done it. Like everybody is really in this. Hey, this guy has that mindset. Yeah. Let's keep pushing him because he can take it. If you gave that same level of push to flower power, he may cry. I'm sorry. Let me not
be flower power. No, you want to know what's funny though? Like I honestly feel like there is a correction of what was happening with Patrick Williams happening here with Modest.
Yeah.
Now I know the thing with P. Will was always make him shoot more, make him be more active. He's got to get out there and want to do more. It still falls on P. Will to do it, but we're not going to let this young man fail here with Modest Buzelis, where there was almost an expectation of success with P. Will. So I don't know. To me, I think that it's just different mindsets and different players. Listen, P. Will, I saw that man last night move somebody out the way on a spin move and make a lay, and it was just like he should be able to do that versus everybody.
And that's the thing. That's why I have the problem I have with P. Will, because it's different if it was like, oh, he doesn't have the skill to be that good. He has the skill to be that
good. He literally does. Maybe one day, well down the road, it'll unlock. I mean, we didn't see the best of Otto Porter Jr. until he had gone through 17 knee injuries, a wrist injury. He had to cut his afro off. He grew his afro back, and then he got a championship. And then I don't know, is he still in the league? Is he playing for like Indiana?
I think he's playing for like Toronto or something.
Is he still in Toronto?
Something like, I don't know.
That checks out.
I don't follow around Otto Porter Jr.
That team will not beat the allegations. But no, man. At the end of the day, I think the Giddy wrist injury and a lot of that is, I think it's a good, let's get him some rest. This is a good way to say it. It's better than having his cervix blown out, apparently, which was what Kevin Huerter was dealing with on the injury.
Blown out for the cervix is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Huerter was dealing with on the injury
crazy.
report, bro. You were
that's
sitting there.
Crazy.
I was like, and then so apparently
somebody left a whole comment explaining. Yeah, I saw it. It was like
it's a shoulder thing. Like I was like, huh? I'm not buying it.
Anyway, let's get up out of here, Pat.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls.
Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV, basically anywhere that you want to catch us at. You don't have a problem catching us, so we don't want to hear no excuses because we will. Never mind. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys go to lockedondaily.com as well to sign up for the Locked On Bulls daily newsletter that I'm getting ready to write as well. Make sure you guys go and sign up for that. We are in a competition in Locked On. We need the most signups to get this done. So go to lockedondaily.com and sign up for Locked On Bulls. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls. Peace, y'all. First time I did the actual professional outro in a minute.
Yeah, that was impressive. Usually we're laughing.
Yeah, that's true. You can laugh at P. Will.
He sucks.
His shit is over.